Hey fellas, Meat Trapper here. And it's been a slow season so far. One thing that I'm learning is that the drought that we had this year, our 100-year drought, has long-reaching consequences. Place after place that I've trapped over the years that have always been productive have not been as productive this year. In fact, I went to a landowner's place yesterday. Normally there's a slough that's got a good 10-12 feet of water in it, and that thing dried up completely this past year during the drought, and it only had about 3 feet of water in it. And of course all the beaver have moved out. So I'm back on the big river. At least there's water out here, and so I've had to modify my techniques a little bit, and I'll show you what I'm doing. So let's go ahead and get on the water. Okay, and we've got a beaver hut banked in right over there. But if you look around in these marshes, there's not a whole lot of ready-made sets. There's not a lot of slides, not a lot of deep channels or anything like that. So the beaver can swim anywhere out in here. They're not restricted to one area. So what I'm having to do is I'm having to really look and find some narrow channels, and then I'm using my MB12-16s to block these things up. You can see I've got a 2x2 I've stuck there, and the trap is submerged in the water. Got a little camouflage on top. And then you can see the lure smeared on the top of the stick. You want to make sure the lure stays directly in the line of travel. And then I've got it wired off to these bushes over here that'll serve as a shock absorber when I make a catch. And so I've got a stack of 2x2s in there. I'm going to go over there and pull some beaver sticks off of that, because those are kind of hard to come by in an area like this. And then I'm just going to go on down the river and make sets as I can find a spot to pop them in. I've really enjoyed using these 330 pans. These are from expandedpantraps.com. Chip Davis does a great job with those pans. They're a lifetime part. You buy them and they'll outlast the trap, I promise you that. But I've just got a little caster mound up, and you can see the beaver's eye view, and just what a wide opening that is. There's nothing to touch with their nose or anything, just straight through, and they're caught. And I've just got a T-bar stake here, and that's what's going to secure the trap. And here's another very similar set. You can see I've got basically a little narrow cut here, and if you look, these beavers, they can go, I mean, anywhere up in here. But what I've done is put a dive pole, suspended the 330 from it, put a little blocking on the wide end, and once again the lure is just smeared over the dive pole, and a little bit up top to reach out. The trap is secured by a T-bar stake over there on a little bit firmer ground, and you can see that circle trigger under there. Now, one tip that I can give you on 330s, if you're just getting started, anytime you can put the 330 fully submerged, you're going to have better results. There's much less of a refusal rate on a submerged 330 than one that's totally exposed. So anytime you can rig something up like that, you're going to be better off. I am out here setting beaver traps, and look what evidently smelled my lure and is coming down to check on things in broad daylight. I may have him before I finish putting my sets out today. He's down on the other side of the hill now. Amazing. Yeah, they're all in here. All in here. Man, what a great day on the river. not a soul, I mean not another human being out here. Talking about nice. And that was pretty wild seeing that beaver up there while I was putting my set in. I heard something coming through the leaves, and I thought it was usually it's an armadillo or something like that, you know, a possum or an armadillo or something. Looked up and it was a beaver. The only thing I could think of is because the wind was blowing his way. It was blowing from my back, and I don't know if he smelled that backbreaker and decided to come on down and take a look, but that was pretty wild. So I've got some more sets to get in, pretty much the same type of thing, just looking for spots, putting my 330s in. I'm going to go down the other side and put a lot of snares in, and then I'll be back in the morning. Hopefully we'll have some luck, and hopefully the drought will be over. Hey fellas, it's a cold, foggy morning here on the river. It's time to go check some sets. You know, I was just thinking out here alone in the fog that there's really no place that I'd rather be. And all of the time and all of the effort, all of the money, the expense, the preparation, this is what it all boils down to. And I love it. So let's go check some traps. Perfectly still water. Just a beautiful morning. The fog is burned off. Temperature is starting to rise a little bit. And here was the Belial 330 with the ExpandedPanTraps.com 330 pan on it. And I had it right there in the little trail with the small caster mound. And you can see it worked like a charm. I love those Belials. Great traps. It's perfect behind the net catch. And when you have that pan on there, there's no trigger wire hanging down. It does a great job. It's looking like a good morning. Well, I ended up with 6 this morning. Let's see, I don't know if you can see that. I got a boatload of them, and I had a couple of snares that were pulled down, and then I had one entire slough that had no activity in it. Every single set in there was untouched for some reason. Same bait, same sets, everything is everywhere else, but there was just no activity in that one little slough. And I'm kind of glad, because really 6 or 7 or 8, that's really about all I want to skin in one day. So I'm going to get on home, get the livers and the hearts out, get the meat out, and it looks like the drought is finally over. But you can rest assured I'll be back. Thanks for coming along. We'll see you next time.